Hi, I'm Danielle Marika, and we're back with Model Talk, where we spill the real tea and realities of working in the industry. Today I'm with
Amira.
and how long have you been modeling? Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been modeling for about 5 years now. It started very much by chance. I'd tried to do the open call thing and had given up on it because I got zero response from people. And then a friend took a photo of me and posted it to her story, and she was like, "Oh, my manager's interested in signing you. Like, would you be interested?" And that was it. That was the start. It was very casual.
Did you always see yourself modeling, or what was your inspiration for wanting to be in the industry?
I think people had told me that I could be a model, and I didn't fully believe it. But I knew that I liked fashion, and so I think that was more so my pull of being able to be creative in that aspect and they dress up almost. And I think that was more so it for me than I want to be on a runway.
If you don't know, it's not just runway. There's so many different lanes to model. So what type of work are you most excited by, and what in general do you work?
So generally, I do a lot of commercial work, and beauty has been a very large part of my work as of recently, which I love because it can be more creative than a lot of the commercial work I do. Editorial is great, but as we know, editorial is not always the biggest bag. I think it's great for creative purposes and doing something that you're inspired by and excited by. But again, it doesn't always pay the bills. You gotta pay rent in New York.
Before you started, what was your biggest misconception, and what has been your biggest lesson now that you're in it?
Yeah, I don't know if it was my biggest misconception, but I think people's biggest misconception is that it's easy work. I do think there's an ease to it, but from what I've learned from doing this, from getting into acting, is that there is skill involved. You do have to be good in front of the camera. You have to be personable in certain ways. You have to be able to present yourself and know your body, physically, and all of that. And it is hard in that aspect because a lot of people cannot move their bodies in certain ways and aren't comfortable in certain ways. I would say my biggest lesson has been maybe that everything is not personal. It can be hard when you do, get rejected from a job that you really want, and you're what did I do wrong, or whatever it may be. But a lot of times it is just, you didn't fit that specific role for that point. And it is a hard pill to swallow because you will see ads and you'll be like, I could have done that. But every opportunity that's yours will be yours. So
Every model is a model, and so what are some of your other interests?
okay, so like I said, initially I was not in New York to be a model. I was a bioethics, biopolitics major. But outside of that, I'm a DJ, I'm an actress, I'm a general artist, I would say. I don't necessarily like to call myself a creative, but I do consider myself an artist in certain ways. And yeah, I just consider myself a well-rounded individual. I'm a Jacqueline of all trades. I wear all the hats. If you need me, I got you. I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna do my job no matter what.
What are some ways that you think the industry can better embrace people who are not one dimensional?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I think people do have the habit of making models very one-dimensional. But again, we live in New York, and everybody has a side hustle. Everybody is doing, like I said, everything. And I think, in all honesty, it would be better for the industry if they allowed people to be themselves creatively, because you would get, I feel, more honest, more unique jobs, and it wouldn't be the same style of things, and it wouldn't be so stagnant in certain ways. Yeah, I think the industry is in certain areas is really struggling for genuine and authentic creativity. And I feel if they allowed people to have a hand in that and let models be theatrical in certain ways, it would benefit a lot in all fronts.
So, how do you prepare for a big shoot or show, or what's kind of your process?
Other than like physically getting myself ready through, hair, which side note,
We can go into that.
I usually wear braids because I've just had a lot of experiences where people are not able to do my hair. And so a large part of me prepping is ensuring that I come to set absolutely ready to go on all fronts. Other than that, like mentally preparing, I like try to meditate. I stretch because you never know what they're going to ask you to do on set. And I'm not trying to pull a muscle. And yeah, I try to just be like grateful for the opportunity of whatever it is. And there's some jobs where you're like, I creatively don't want to do this, but you have to like again be thankful for certain aspects of it and be appreciative.
And I wanted you to just talk a little more about your experience as a black model and just how much you have to prepare. How does that affect your experience?
Yeah, I would say it definitely takes a toll when, like I said, you're a black model on set who has to do all of this prep work that, models of other ethnicities and races don't have to. And I have had instances where I've been on set and I feel have gotten the short end of the stick because of my race. I will be completely honest with that, where it's like I have to do extra work that the clients and their team should be doing to prep for things. And modeling in general is very much like a mental game. It can like take a toll on you in that way. And yeah, I think that definitely adds to the stressors of it when it's like you have to again prepare yourself for whatever may happen on set because of what you look like. Even though they booked you and they know what you look like.
The best clients recognize this and pay for you to get yourself prepped the day before whenever they need you. But I think those are the best people to work with. And just putting it out there, you too, your client listening to this, you too can compensate and just make things more equitable. But last question, what is your favorite movie or of all time or whatever? What would you recommend someone watching?
Okay, I don't know my favorite movie of all time, but as of recently, I've been watching a lot of musicals. And I watched Sweet Charity, which is by Bob Fosse, and it's like the most theatrical movie I've seen as of recently. I love the musical numbers. I love the way the camera moves. I love the choreography, the costume design. I'm a very big fan of movies where the art department obviously got a huge check because you can tell they enjoyed themselves. And yeah, that was like a really good movie that I've seen recently that I would highly recommend, even if you're not a musical person, because I'm not. And I was like, that was phenomenal.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, just to wrap it up, is there any advice you'd give to an aspiring model watching this?
My advice to aspiring models is honestly, be you. What I've learned and am learning is that, like I said, clients don't always know what they want or what it is they're looking for. But if you can present yourself as like, hey, I'm here, I have this to offer, this is what I can do, then they'll be like, you know what, you're right, we'll take you in on that. And yeah, I feel like that's the biggest one is just like show up as yourself. Um, be flexible, but obviously like be confident in who you are in this industry and don't let that like, you know, take a toll on you in that way.